The station hung in the void between stars, massive and ancient. Apex Prime had existed for thousands of years, built by species whose names were now forgotten. Today, it hosted the rarest gathering in the galaxy. The summit of apex species happened only once every 1,000 years. And this year, humanity had received an invitation. Tejo stood at the observation window, watching ships arrive. Each vessel was different, reflecting the nature of its builders. Some were sleek and fast. Others were armored like fortresses. A few defied simple description, their shapes hurting his eyes when he looked too long. Behind him, Hana checked her datapad for the third time, her military training showing in every precise movement. "Are you nervous?" Tejo asked, without turning around. "No," Hana said. Her tone suggested otherwise. "It's okay to be nervous. We're about to meet the galaxy's most dangerous predators. We're human." Hana replied. "We belong here." Tejo smiled at that. He wasn't so sure. 5 years ago, humanity had made first contact with the greater galactic community. The discovery had changed everything. Humans learned they were not alone, that thousands of species filled the stars. Most were peaceful traders and explorers. But some were hunters, predators who had clawed their way to the top of their worlds and then reached for the stars. The summit was for those hunters. The invitation to Earth had been unexpected. According to the Galactic Council, humanity was too young, too soft, too weak to be considered a true predator species. The invitation was a courtesy, nothing more. A polite gesture to the newcomers. Tejo didn't mind. He was a xenobiologist, a scientist who studied alien life. This was the opportunity of his career. Hana, however, had different thoughts. She was a military strategist, and she saw things Tejo sometimes missed. "They're testing us," Hana had said during the flight to Apex Prime. "They want to see what we are. Then we'll show them," Tejo had replied. Now, standing in the vast council chamber, Tejo felt small. The room was built for giants. Species from across the galaxy filled the seats, each one more impressive than the last. To his left sat Krell 9, a massive creature covered in thick armor plates. Its 6 legs ended in claws that could tear through steel. Its mouth held rows of teeth like swords. Krell 9's species had conquered 47 star systems through pure physical might. To his right was something worse. Varthex appeared as a being made of living crystal, beautiful and terrible. Its kind hunted by resonating at specific frequencies, turning prey's own bodies against them. Organs would rupture. Bones would shatter. All without Varthex ever touching its victim. Its species held the title of Galaxy's greatest predator for the last 3 summits. Varthex turned its faceted head toward Tejo. When it spoke, its voice sounded like wind chimes made of knives. "The human," Varthex said. "We were surprised to learn of your attendance." "We were surprised to be invited," Tejo replied politely. "A courtesy, nothing more. Your species has no place among true predators." Krell 9 laughed, a sound like grinding rocks. "Look at them. Soft skin. No claws, no armor, no venom. What kind of predator has no natural weapons?" Other species around the chamber chittered and growled their agreement. Tejo felt their eyes on him, judging, dismissing. He saw Hana's jaw tighten, but she remained silent. The Summit Master, an ancient being whose species had long since moved beyond physical hunting, called the gathering to order. Its voice echoed through the chamber, translated instantly into every language present. "We gather once more to determine the greatest predator among us. Each species will demonstrate their hunting prowess. The council will judge. Let us begin." One by one, the predator species presented their abilities. Holographic simulations filled the center of the chamber, showing hunts from 1,000 different worlds. Krell 9's demonstration was brutal and direct. The simulation showed its ancestors hunting massive beasts through volcanic plains, simply overpowering prey through superior strength and armor. The killing blow crushed the prey's skull like an egg. Varthex's demonstration was art. Its species hunted in crystal forests where sound bounced and amplified in strange ways. The simulation showed Varthex stalking prey silently, then releasing a single, perfect note. The prey animal simply fell apart, killed by its own resonating body. Species after species displayed their methods. Ambush predators, pack hunters, venomous strikers. Each one had evolved perfect killing tools. Each one had conquered their world and then reached for the stars. Finally, all eyes turned to Tejo and Hana. "The humans," the summit master announced. "You may present." Tejo stood and walked to the center of the chamber. He felt every eye upon him. Some were curious. Most were amused. A few showed outright contempt. "Thank you," Tejo began. "I am Tejo, xenobiologist of Earth. This is Hana, military strategist of the Human Defense Forces. We are here to represent humanity." "Get to the point," Krell 9 rumbled. "Show us your claws, little human. Show us your teeth." Tejo smiled. It was not a happy smile. "That's an interesting question. What makes a predator? Is it claws? Teeth? Venom? Armor?" He paused. "I've spent 5 years studying each species in this room. You're all magnificent. Perfect killing machines. Each in your own way. Your ancestors fought to the top of your food chains and stayed there. Flattery?" Varthex's voice dripped with scorn. "You waste our time." "No," Tejo said. "I'm establishing context. You see, humans are different. We have no claws, no venom, no armor. Our teeth are flat and weak. Our strength is unremarkable. By every physical measure, we should be prey, not predators." "Exactly," Krell 9 said. "So why are you here?" Tejo's smile widened. "That's the question, isn't it? How did a weak, soft species with no natural weapons become the dominant predator on their planet? How did we not just survive, but thrive?" Hana stepped forward. Her voice was cold and clear. "We're here because every predator in this room is specialized. You evolved perfect tools for perfect kills. But what happens when perfect isn't enough?" "Number. Explain yourself," Varthex demanded. "Every species here hunts the same way their ancestors did 1,000,000 years ago," Hana continued. "You have your methods, your techniques, your natural advantages. They work, so why change? But humans never had that luxury. We had no perfect tools, so we became something else entirely." Tejo activated the holographic display. An image of Earth appeared, rotating slowly. "Before we show you how we hunt, we need you to understand what we hunted. Earth is a death world compared to most planets. Our gravity is high. Our weather is extreme. Our biodiversity is staggering. And nearly everything on Earth evolved to either eat us or avoid being eaten by us." The image shifted, showing Earth's predators. Great cats with knife-like teeth. Bears that towered over humans. Wolves that hunted in coordinated packs. Ancient creatures, even more terrible. "Our ancestors had none of the advantages you possess," Tejo said quietly. "We were slow. We were weak. We were, by all rights, prey. Yet somehow, we not only survived, we wiped out most of the predators that hunted us. We made the others serve us, and we did it without evolving a single claw." The chamber had gone quiet. Even Krell 9 seemed intrigued now. "So," the summit master said, "show us. How does a species with no weapons become a predator?" Tejo looked at Hana. She nodded once. "You asked to see our hunt," Tejo said. "Very well. But first, I have a question for you. Do you want to see how we hunt? Or do you want to see why we're still here? Because they're not the same thing." Tejo said. Varthex leaned forward, its crystalline body catching the light. "We want both." Hana's expression didn't change. Then, you need to understand something first. Every species in this room hunts for food, for territory, for sport, for dominance. She paused, letting the silence stretch. Humans don't hunt like that. When we hunt something that threatens us, we don't stop until it's gone. We don't hunt for dominance. We hunt to extinction. The words hung in the air like a threat. Krell 9 shifted uncomfortably in its seat. Varthex's crystalline form pulsed with what might have been uncertainty. You'll understand soon enough, Teho said. Let me tell you about the way humans hunt. Let me tell you about persistence. Teho. The holographic display changed, showing a barren landscape under a burning sun. Two figures moved across the screen. One was human, running at a steady pace. The other was an animal with 4 legs, faster and stronger, bounding ahead in panic. This is Earth, Teho explained. 40,000 years ago. Before we had advanced tools. Before we had civilization. This is how our ancestors hunted. The display followed the chase. The animal was clearly faster. It pulled far ahead of the human hunter, disappearing over a hill. But the human didn't stop. He kept running at the same steady pace, following the tracks. Hours passed in the simulation. The sun moved across the sky. The animal appeared again, resting in the shade, panting heavily. Again, it outran the human easily, but again, the human kept coming. I don't understand, Krell 9 said. The prey escapes. The hunt should end. Watch, Hana said simply. More hours passed. The animal ran again. And again. Each time, it was slower. Each time, it couldn't run as far. Its body was overheating. Its muscles were failing. Meanwhile, the human maintained the same steady pace, never stopping, never resting. Finally, as the sun began to set, the animal could run no more. It collapsed, sides heaving, unable to even stand. The human approached calmly and ended its life with a simple spear. The chamber was silent. This is called persistence hunting, Teho said. Humans are the only species in the galaxy who evolved this method. We're not the fastest. We're not the strongest. But we can run longer than anything else that has ever lived. He gestured to the display. Most predators hunt in bursts. You sprint. You strike. You kill. If you fail, you rest and try again later. But humans don't work that way. We chase our prey until it physically cannot run anymore. We hunt by simply refusing to stop. Varthex's voice had lost some of its contempt. You'd think so, Teho agreed. But you'd be wrong. Let me show you why. A new hologram appeared. This time, it showed a human figure, displaying its biological systems. Teho pointed to different parts as he spoke. Human bodies are built for endurance. We have a cooling system unlike any other species in this room. We sweat. We release water through our skin, which evaporates and cools us. This lets us run for hours without overheating. Most animals can only cool themselves by panting, which they can't do while running. He highlighted the human legs. We're bipedal. We walk and run on 2 legs, which is incredibly energy efficient. Our ancestors could travel 50 kilometers in a day, every day, for weeks if needed. We have tendons in our legs that store and release energy like springs. We have a sense of balance that lets us run over any terrain without falling. Minho's face appeared in the hologram, transmitted from Earth. He was a chief evolutionary biologist, older than Teho, with kind eyes that had seen much. What Teho is describing, Minho said, is millions of years of evolution dedicated to one thing: never stopping. Every predator here evolved to kill quickly. Humans evolved to kill inevitably. There's a difference. He pulled up more data. On Earth, humans hunted prey that should have been impossible for us to catch. Animals twice our size, 3 times our speed, with natural weapons we couldn't match. But it didn't matter. Because once a human decided to hunt something, that thing was already dead. It just didn't know it yet. Krell 9 shifted in his massive seat. This is one hunting method. Interesting. But limited. What does this have to do with your presence in the stars? Hana stepped forward again. Everything. Because humans didn't leave this mindset behind when we gained intelligence. We weaponized it. She brought up a new display. Military documents marked with Earth's highest security classifications. This is the persistence protocol, Hana said. It's the foundation of human military doctrine. When we identify a threat, we don't engage in a single battle. We don't seek one decisive victory. We pursue that threat across time and space until it ceases to exist. The display showed star maps with marked routes, supply lines, fleet movements spanning years. Other species fight wars in campaigns, Hana continued. Battles, sieges. You seek to break your enemy's will or destroy their forces in key engagements. Humans do fight that way sometimes. But when we face an existential threat, we revert to our oldest hunting method. We simply don't stop coming. 2. Varthex's crystalline body pulsed. You speak of war. This is a summit about predation. War is predation, Hana replied coldly. The ultimate form of it. And humans are very, very good at wars of attrition. Teho added more context. 5 years ago, you met humanity for the first time. You saw us as young, weak, technologically inferior. And by most measures, you were right. But what you didn't see was our history. Humans have been fighting each other for tens of thousands of years. We've perfected the art of grinding down superior forces through sheer, relentless pressure. The display showed historical battles from Earth. Each example demonstrated the same principle. Humans wearing down their enemies over time, never accepting defeat, always returning with new tactics and renewed forces. There's a saying on Earth, Teho said quietly. You can knock a human down. You can beat them. You can break their weapons and scatter their forces. But if even one human survives and remembers, they will come back. Maybe not today. Maybe not this year. But they will come back, and they will bring friends, Krell 9 rumbled. Impressive determination. But determination means nothing against overwhelming power. My species conquered 47 star systems through strength alone. Could your persistence stand against that? Hana's smile was thin and cold. Let me tell you about the human-Kraylor border conflict. It's not widely known. The Galactic Council. Never heard about it. But 3 years ago, the Kraylor Empire decided to test humanity's borders. A new star map appeared, showing a region of space near human territory. The Kraylor had better ships, better weapons, better armor. They outnumbered our border forces 10-1. They expected an easy victory. Maybe they'd take some colonies, force us to negotiate, establish dominance. The map showed Kraylor fleets advancing into human space, overwhelming initial defenses. We lost the first 3 engagements, Hana said. Lost badly. The Kraylor celebrated. They thought the war was essentially over. But humans don't think like that. We didn't see defeats. We saw data. Ow. The map changed, showing human fleet movements. Small, scattered, seemingly random. We couldn't match them in direct combat. So, we didn't try. We hit their supply lines. We laid mines in their jump routes. We used guerrilla tactics, striking only when we had advantage, retreating before they could respond. And we kept doing it. Week after week. Month after month. The Kraylor expected us to surrender or negotiate. That's what civilized species do when they're outmatched. But humans aren't just civilized. Under that civilization, we're still persistence hunters. We were tracking prey. The display showed the Kraylor fleets becoming increasingly disorganized. Supply shortages, communication breakdowns. Ships being picked off one by one. The war lasted 18 months, Hana said. The Kraylor couldn't understand why we wouldn't quit. They'd beaten us in every major battle. But we kept coming. They'd destroy one human fleet, and 2 more would appear. They'd secure a system, and we'd take 2 others. They couldn't rest. They couldn't consolidate, because we never stopped pushing. Junho's face appeared in the hologram. He was the fleet commander from that conflict, now older, with scars visible, even through the holographic projection. The Kraylor made a mistake, Junho said, his voice rough. They thought of war as a contest, as a game with rules and endpoints. Humans think of war as a hunt, and we're very patient hunters. He pulled up the final battle statistics. By the end, we'd learned their tactics, adapted to their technology, built counters to their advantages. We didn't win because we were stronger. We won because we were willing to lose every battle except the last one. And we made sure there was a last one. The display showed the final engagement. Human fleets, now numerous and battle-hardened, overwhelming the exhausted Kraylor forces. It wasn't even close. The Kraylor sued for peace, Junho continued. They returned to their space and haven't tested our borders since. They learned what we are, what we've always been. They learned that fighting humans isn't about winning battles. It's about being willing to fight longer than we are. And nobody has ever managed that. The chamber was quiet now. The casual dismissal from earlier had vanished. The assembled predators watched the humans with new eyes. Tejo spoke again, his voice soft but clear. You asked about persistence versus power. Here's your answer. Power wins battles. Persistence wins wars. And humans have been winning wars against superior forces for our entire existence. Varthex finally spoke. You speak of determination, of refusing to surrender. This is notable, but you still haven't shown us true predation. True hunting skill. Haven't we? Hana asked. What do you think hunting is, if not this? We track our prey across space and time. We study their patterns. We wait for the perfect moment. And we never, ever, give up. She locked eyes with Varthex. You hunt with resonance. Beautiful. Deadly. But what happens when your prey is in a place where sound doesn't work? Do you adapt? Or do you find different prey? Varthex didn't answer. Humans adapt, Hana continued. And we have another advantage. Something that makes our persistence even more dangerous. And what is that? Krell 9 demanded. Tejo smiled. We throw things, and you have no idea how deadly that makes us. The hologram changed again. This time it showed a simple scene. A human standing in an open field, holding a rock. 50 meters away. A target. The human threw the rock. It hit the target perfectly. Dead center. Several species in the chamber made sounds of confusion or dismissal. Throwing a rock? This was supposed to be impressive? Hana let the silence stretch for a moment. I know what you're thinking. Every species can throw something. What's special about this? She brought up a new display. Let me show you. The hologram now showed multiple species attempting to throw objects. Most of them could barely manage it. Their throws were clumsy, inaccurate, more like pushing or dropping the object in a direction rather than true throwing. The few species who could throw with any accuracy had clearly trained for it, and even then, their range and precision were limited. Humans are the only species in the known galaxy, Hana said, who evolved throwing as a primary survival strategy. Not just throwing, accurate throwing, powerful throwing, throwing while running, jumping, or under stress. We're the only species whose brains evolved an entire subsystem dedicated to calculating trajectories. Tejo pulled up a brain scan. This is a human brain. See this region? It calculates angle, force, target movement, wind resistance, and gravity all in real time. Unconsciously, a human child can throw accurately by age 5. By adulthood, we can hit targets with deadly precision at distances that would surprise you. Yuna's face appeared in the hologram. She was a combat instructor, younger than the others, with the lean build of someone who trained constantly. She stood in what appeared to be a training facility. "I'm going to demonstrate," Yuna said. "Watch carefully." She picked up a knife. Without seeming to aim, she threw it. The blade spun through the air and buried itself in a target 20 meters away. She picked up another knife and threw it while walking. Another hit. She threw while running. Another hit. She did a roll across the floor and threw mid-motion. The knife still found its target. "This isn't special training," Yuna said. "Any human combat specialist can do this. Many civilians can do it too. It's instinctive for us." She picked up a handful of small stones. "Now watch this." She threw the stones in rapid succession at multiple targets. Each one hit. She threw a stone straight up, let it fall, caught it, and threw it again in one smooth motion, hitting a distant target. She threw behind her back, between her legs, over her shoulder. Every throw was accurate. Krell 9 leaned forward. "Impressive coordination. But we have weapons now. Energy beams. Plasma cannons. Your thrown stones are obsolete." Yuna smiled. "You're right. We do have those weapons. We invented them. But here's what you don't understand. Throwing isn't about the object. It's about the calculation." Tejo took over the explanation. "Every weapon system humans have ever developed stems from our throwing ability. Spears, arrows, catapults, artillery, missiles, railguns, relativistic kill vehicles. All of them are just extensions of throwing." The display showed the evolution of human weapons. Simple spears becoming atlatls, becoming bows, becoming cannons, becoming missiles. Each step was more complex, but the underlying principle remained the same. Calculating a trajectory to hit a target at range. "The same part of our brain that lets us throw a rock," Tejo continued, "lets us calculate ballistic trajectories that other species need computers for. We do it instinctively. A human artillery officer can estimate firing solutions in their head faster than most species targeting computers." Hana pulled up military footage. "Let me show you what this means in combat." The display showed space battles from the Kraylor conflict. Human ships moved in ways that seemed wrong, almost random. Their weapons fired in arcing paths instead of straight lines. "Most species fight in space with direct fire weapons," Hana explained. "Energy beams travel in straight lines. Missiles fly in predictable paths. You aim, you shoot, you hit. It's simple geometry." The footage showed Kraylor ships doing exactly that. Their weapons fired in clean, straight lines. Their tactics were efficient and logical. "Humans fight differently," Hana said. "We use ballistic weapons, railguns, mass drivers, kinetic kill vehicles, and we fire them in curves." The footage showed human ships launching projectiles that didn't travel in straight lines. They curved around obstacles. They banked off asteroid gravity fields. They bounced off planetary atmospheres. One shot appeared to miss its target completely, only to loop around a moon and hit from behind. That shot, Hana pointed at the screen, was calculated by a human fire control officer in less than 3 seconds. The trajectory used 3 separate gravity assists, accounted for the target's movement, and hit a weak point in their armor. A computer could have done it, given enough time. The human did it faster than their targeting system could even lock on. Junho appeared in the hologram again. "The Kraylor couldn't understand our tactics. They had superior firepower, better shields, faster ships, but they couldn't predict where our shots would come from. We didn't shoot where they were. We shot where they would be, accounting for dozens of variables in the time it took them to aim." The footage showed more battles. Human projectiles coming from impossible angles. Shots that seemed to defy physics, bending around obstacles, timing themselves perfectly to hit when shields were reorienting, striking from directions the enemy couldn't possibly defend. "This is the advantage of throwing," Junho said. "Other species shoot. Humans throw. We understand parabolas and trajectories in our bones. Every human child who's ever played catch is training for this. Every game of throwing a ball is practice for calculating these shots. Varthex's voice had lost all its contempt now. You're saying your entire weapons doctrine is based on throwing rocks? Yes, Tejo said simply. That's exactly what I'm saying. We're apes who learn to throw things. Everything else built from that. He pulled up more data. Humans can throw objects at over 160 kilometers per hour using only arm strength. We can hit targets the size of a fist at 50 meters consistently. We can throw while running, swimming, or in zero gravity. We can adjust our throw mid-motion based on changing conditions. This ability is unique in the galaxy. And we built our entire technological civilization around it, Hana added. Every human weapon is designed to be aimed by a human brain that evolved to throw. Our ships have firing solutions that assume human intuition. Our tactics rely on human ability to predict trajectories. She showed more battle footage. Look at this engagement. 6 human ships versus 20 Kraler vessels. We were outgunned 4-1. But we won, because we understood something they didn't. The footage played. The human ships moved in complex patterns, firing projectiles that curved and weaved through space. The Kraler ships fired their energy weapons in straight lines, trying to track the human vessels, but the humans were already somewhere else. Meanwhile, human projectiles came from every angle, timed perfectly to hit when shields were weakest. They were trying to fight a video game, Hana said. Point and shoot. But we were playing catch. And humans have been playing catch for 1,000,000 years. Yuna appeared again, this time standing on what looked like a ship's bridge. Want to know the scariest part? We're not even using our full ability. In atmosphere, with wind and gravity, throwing gets complex. In space, it's easier. No wind resistance. Predictable gravity. For humans, space combat is like throwing in slow motion. We have more time to calculate, more time to adjust. She picked up a small metal sphere. On my ship, we don't have automated fire control. We have manual targeting. A human gunner can make shots that a computer would call impossible. Because we don't calculate the math. We feel it. She threw the sphere. The camera followed it as it bounced off a wall. Then another wall. Then landed in a small container across the room. Computers can calculate trajectories. Humans live them. Tejo pulled up historical data from Earth. Our ancestors used to hunt birds in flight with thrown stones. Birds. Flying. Moving in 3 dimensions. And humans could hit them. We hunted fast-moving prey with spears we threw. We invented the atlatl, a tool that lets us throw even harder. We invented the bow, which is just a machine for throwing arrows. Every weapon is the same concept. Throw something at the target. And when we reached the stars, Hana continued, we brought that instinct with us. Our warships are built around it. Our tactics assume it. Every human in our military trains for it. She showed more footage. This time from a training exercise. Human soldiers in zero gravity, throwing objects at moving targets. The accuracy was disturbing. Even in 3-dimensional space, with no up or down, the humans adapted instantly, their throws finding targets with consistent precision. This is basic training, Hana said. Every human soldier can do this. It's not special. It's just how we are. Krell 9's voice was thoughtful now, no longer dismissive. You've made your point. Humans have a unique advantage in ranged combat. But this is still just tools. Technology. The summit is about natural predation. Is it? Tejo asked. Because I thought this summit was about who the greatest predator is. And humans are predators who evolved to kill, at range, safely, efficiently. We're not ambush predators. We're not pursuit predators. We're projectile predators. We kill from distances where our prey can't fight back. He let that sink in. Every predator in this room has to get close to kill. You have claws, teeth, venom. You need to be within striking distance. Humans kill from a distance. Always have. Always will. Our ancestors could kill prey from 100 meters away with a thrown spear. Now we can kill from 1,000,000 kilometers away with a railgun. The principle is the same. And unlike your natural weapons, Hannah added, our thrown weapons keep getting better. You're limited by biology. We're limited by imagination, and human imagination, backed by our throwing instinct, has created some truly terrible weapons. She showed images of human weapons. Each one was more devastating than the last. Kinetic bombardment systems, relativistic projectiles, weapons that could crack planets. All of these, Hannah said quietly, are just humans throwing rocks. We've been doing it for 1,000,000 years. We'll keep doing it forever. It's what we are. Varthex was silent for a long moment. You've shown us tools. Weapons. Impressive. I admit. But you still haven't shown us the predator beneath the tools. What are humans without your technology? Tejo and Hannah exchanged a look. Tejo's expression was sad. Hannah's was cold. You want to see the predator beneath? Tejo asked softly. You want to see what humans are when we can't rely on tools? Very well. But I warn you, you won't like what you see. We are not easily disturbed, Varthex said. Yes, Hannah replied. You are. The hologram changed to show Earth from space. The planet rotated slowly, showing vast differences in terrain. Ice caps, deserts, jungles, mountains, oceans. This is Earth, Tejo said. Our homeworld. Look at it carefully. See how diverse it is? He zoomed in on different regions. The poles are frozen wastelands, where temperatures drop to -60 degrees. The deserts reach 60 degrees in the opposite direction. We have mountains where the air is too thin to breathe easily. We have jungles so thick you can't see the sky. We have oceans deeper than most species' tallest buildings. 2. Dodd. 2. The display shifted to show humans living in each environment. Humans in fur clothing walking across ice. Humans in light robes crossing sand dunes. Humans climbing mountains. Humans in boats on the ocean. Humans live in all of these places, Tejo continued. Not different subspecies. Not specialized variants. The same humans. We adapted to every environment on our planet, not by changing our bodies, but by changing our behavior. Sora's face appeared in the hologram. She was a xenosociologist, someone who studied alien cultures. Her expression was serious. Every species in this chamber evolved to fit their environment, Sora said. You grew the tools you needed. Thick fur for cold, scales for heat, gills for water. You became perfect for your worlds. Humans did something different. We made our environments fit us. She pulled up comparative data. Varthex, your species requires a specific atmospheric pressure. Too high or too low. And you can't survive. Krell 9. Your species needs temperatures within a 20-degree range. Outside that, you become sluggish or die. Every species here has environmental requirements. Narrow bands where you can live. The display showed graphs. Each species had a small range of acceptable conditions. Except humans. The human range was vast, covering extremes that would kill most species. Humans don't have a native environment, Sora said. We have all of them. We're not adapted to one place. We adapt to every place. Tejo took over. Our ancestors walked out of Africa 50,000 years ago. Within 10,000 years, we'd spread to every continent, every climate, every environment. We didn't evolve new bodies for each place. We just learned to survive there. The hologram showed human migration patterns across Earth. Small groups spreading in all directions, reaching even the most hostile environments. We survived the Ice Age, Tejo said. Multiple ice ages, actually. We survived volcanic eruptions that darkened the sky for years. We survived droughts, floods, and disasters that would wipe out species with narrower tolerances. We survived because we adapt faster than conditions change. Varthex spoke, its voice uncertain now. This is impressive survival. But you speak of making environments fit you. How is this predation? Because it means there's nowhere our prey can hide, Hana answered. Every predator here has limits. Your prey can escape to environments you can't survive in, but human prey has no such refuge. We follow them everywhere. Into the water, into the desert, into the frozen wastes. Nowhere is safe from us. She showed historical examples from Earth. Early humans hunted seals in the Arctic. We hunted in tropical swamps. We hunted in mountains so high that breathing was difficult. Our prey had nowhere to go. If it lived on Earth, we could reach it. And when we reached the stars, Tejo said, we brought this adaptability with us. The display showed human colonies across different worlds. Each one was different. Ice worlds, desert worlds, high-gravity worlds, low-gravity worlds, worlds with toxic atmospheres where humans lived in sealed habitats. We've been in space for less than 200 years, Tejo said. In that time, we've established colonies on 48 different worlds. 48 environments, each one different, each one hostile in its own way. And we're thriving on all of them. Sora appeared again. Most species terraform worlds to match their home planet. You make the new world like the old one. Humans do that sometimes, but often we don't bother. We just live in whatever environment we find. We adapt to it, instead of changing it. She showed footage of human colonies. On an ice world, humans had built underground. On a desert world, they'd built partially underground, to avoid the heat. On a high-gravity world, humans had developed stronger bones and muscles within a few generations. That last one is important, Sora said. Humans are still evolving. Rapidly. We're not a fixed species. We're a species in flux, constantly changing to match our environment. Tejo pulled up genetic data. Within 500 years of space colonization, we already have distinct human variants. They're all still human, still the same species, but they're adapting to their worlds. Taller humans on low-gravity worlds. Shorter, stockier humans on high-gravity worlds. Humans with enhanced lung capacity on low-oxygen worlds. The display showed different types of humans. The differences were visible, but not extreme. Yet, this is terrifying if you think about it, Tejo said quietly. Most species evolve over millions of years. Humans are consciously directing our own evolution. We use genetic engineering. We use selective breeding. We use technology. We're not waiting for natural selection. We're actively shaping ourselves. Hyunwoo appeared in the hologram. He looked almost human, but not quite. He was taller, thinner, with skin that was almost black. His eyes were larger, adapted to dim light. I'm a void-adapted human, Hyunwoo said. I was born on a colony ship and modified before birth to survive in low-light, low-gravity environments. My bones are lighter but stronger. My eyes can see in near darkness. I can survive on less oxygen than baseline humans. I'm still human, but I'm also something new. The chamber was silent. The assembled species stared at Hyunwoo with something that might have been horror. We have humans adapted for every environment now, Hyunwoo continued. Water breathers for ocean worlds. Radiation-resistant humans for worlds near unstable stars. Humans who can survive temperature extremes that would kill anyone in this room. We're not one species anymore. We're dozens, all still human. All still working together. Tejo spoke again. This is what I meant about adaptation. You're all specialized, perfect for your environments. But humans are generalists. We can live anywhere, hunt anywhere, survive anywhere. And we're getting better at it with every generation. Hana added the military perspective. Do you understand what this means for warfare? You can't trap us. You can't force us into a bad environment. Every environment is our environment. We've fought battles underwater, in toxic atmospheres, on worlds with crushing gravity, in the vacuum of space itself. We adapt to the battlefield, faster than you can choose it. She showed more footage from various conflicts. Human soldiers in a dozen different environments, all fighting effectively. We had a saying on Earth, Hana said. Humans are like water. We find every crack, every opening, every weakness. You can't contain us, because we adapt to any container. Minji appeared in the hologram. She was a Special Forces commander, her body showing signs of extensive modifications, scars from combat, augmentations visible under her skin. I've fought in places that shouldn't be survivable, Minji said. Zero gravity, underwater, in corrosive atmospheres, in environments with 12 times Earth's gravity, in neural space where reality doesn't work right. Every battlefield presented new challenges. Every time, humans adapted. Every time, we won. She moved, and even through the hologram, her enhanced nature was visible. She was faster than a baseline human should be. Stronger, more controlled. The human body is a starting point, Minji said. We improve it. We enhance it. We rebuild it. For whatever task we face. There are human soldiers now who can survive in hard vacuum for short periods. Humans who can see in infrared and ultraviolet. Humans who can hear frequencies that would deafen baseline humans. We're not limited by our biology. We change our biology. Tejo pulled up more data. This is the horror of human adaptability. We're not just one species. We're a template. We can become whatever we need to become. And we do it fast. Within decades, not millennia. He showed projections. In 1,000 years, there might not be one human species. There might be 100 variants, each adapted perfectly to their environment. But they'll all still be human. They'll all still work together. They'll all still hunt, as humans do. And all of them, Hana said, will remember what happened to species that tried to hunt us. The hologram shifted to show Earth's past. Great predators that once hunted humans. Saber-toothed cats, cave bears, dire wolves, giant short-faced bears that stood 4 meters tall. All of these were stronger than us, Tejo said. Faster, better armed. Natural predators who should have eaten humans into extinction. But we adapted. We learned their patterns. We studied their weaknesses. We developed tools and tactics. And we killed them all. The display showed human hunting parties taking down creatures that dwarfed them. Using spears. Using traps. Using coordination and intelligence. We didn't just survive them, Tejo continued. We drove most of them extinct. The ones we didn't kill, we domesticated. We turned wolves into dogs. We turned wild horses into transportation. We took species that competed with us and eliminated them or made them serve us. Varthex's voice was barely above a whisper. You committed genocide against your own planet's predators. Varthex's. Yes, Tejo said simply. We did. Because that's what happens when something tries to eat us. We adapt faster than they can. We learn faster than they can. And we never forget. Hana's voice was ice. You wanted to know what humans are beneath our tools. This is it. We're the species that adapts to anything, survives everything, learns from every encounter, and never makes the same mistake twice. She looked directly at each species in turn. You're all specialists, perfect killers in your perfect environments. But perfection is a trap. You can't adapt because you're already perfect. Humans are imperfect, weak, soft. But we improve. We grow. We learn. And we never stop, Tejo added quietly. There's a reason humans spread across the galaxy so fast. It's not because we have the best technology. Other species have better. It's because we can live anywhere, adapt to anything, survive everything. We're not the strongest predator. We're the most versatile predator. And in the long run, versatility beats strength. The chamber was silent for a long moment. The assembled predators, the apex species of their worlds, looked at the two humans with new understanding. And perhaps fear. Finally, Krell 9 spoke, his voice thoughtful. You have made your point. Human adaptability is remarkable, disturbing, even. But this summit judges predation, not survival. Show us a hunt. Show us humans killing something stronger than themselves. Tejo and Hana looked at each other. Something passed between them. A silent question and answer. Very well, Tejo said. His voice was heavy now, tired. You want to see us hunt something stronger? Let me tell you about the Scarlith. The hologram went dark. For a moment, there was only silence in the great chamber. Then Tejo spoke, and his voice carried a weight it hadn't before. What I'm about to tell you is classified at the highest level of human government. The Galactic Council doesn't know this story. Most humans don't know this story, but you asked to see humans hunt something stronger than us, so I'll show you. The hologram lit up again, showing a date. 50 years ago. First contact, Tejo said. Not with the Galactic Council. That came later. No. Humanity's true first contact was with a species called the Scarlith. The display showed creatures that made everyone in the chamber shift uncomfortably. The Scarlith were built like living weapons, 4 meters tall, covered in armored plates, with claws like swords and mouths full of serrated teeth. Their eyes showed intelligence and hunger in equal measure. The Scarlith were perfect predators, Tejo continued. Faster than humans. Stronger than humans. Their armor could withstand small arms fire. Their claws could cut through steel. They had a hive-mind intelligence that let them coordinate perfectly. They were everything we're not. Everything we could never be. Hana took over. And they saw us as prey. The hologram shifted, showing human colonies on the outer edges of settled space. Peaceful settlements. Mining operations. Scientific outposts. Then, the Scarlith arrived. The footage was brutal. Scarlith warriors tearing through human defenses like they weren't there. Human weapons barely slowing them down. Colonists trying to evacuate while the Scarlith hunted them through the streets. It was a massacre. They took 3 colonies in the first week, Hana said. Her voice was flat, emotionless, but her eyes held old rage. 12,000 humans. Dead or captured. Those who were captured wished they'd died. The Scarlith didn't just kill. They consumed. They enslaved. They bred humans like livestock. The chamber was silent, horrified. The Galactic Council knew about the Scarlith, Tejo said. They'd known for centuries. But nobody fought them. The Scarlith were too dangerous. Too perfect. Every species that encountered them either fled or died. They were the undisputed apex predators of their region of space. And they'd decided. Humanity looked tasty. Junho appeared in the hologram. He looked younger in this footage, without the scars he bore now. He stood on the bridge of a warship that looked hastily armed. I was a captain then, Junho said. 28 years old. I'd trained for fleet actions against pirates and theoretical alien threats. Nothing prepared me for the Scarlith. In our first engagement, I lost 2 ships out of 3. The Scarlith barely noticed us. We were insects to them. The footage showed that battle. Human ships firing everything they had. Scarlith vessels shrugging off the damage and tearing the human fleet apart with brutal efficiency. We should have died, Junho said quietly. Our ships were slower. Our weapons were weaker. Our tactics were untested. The Scarlith had been hunting for 10,000 years. We'd been in space for barely 50. We were outmatched in every way. So what did we do? Hana asked rhetorically. We did what humans always do. We adapted. The hologram showed the aftermath of that first battle. Human survivors pulling data from wrecked ships. Scientists studying every scrap of information about Scarleth technology. Military planners developing new strategies. We couldn't fight them head-on, Hana said. So, we didn't try. We retreated. Drew them deeper into human space. Let them think they were winning. Let them think we were prey running scared. Tejo pulled up strategic maps. The Scarleth followed. They'd never encountered prey that ran so effectively. They'd never needed to chase prey across star systems. But they adapted to our tactics. Or they thought they did. Phase 1 took 3 years, Hana said. We lost 6 more colonies. 20,000 more humans dead. But we bought time. Time to study. Time to prepare. Time to learn everything about the Scarleth. Minho appeared in the hologram, younger but recognizable. We captured Scarleth specimens. Live ones. Dead ones. We studied their biology down to the genetic level. We mapped their hive mind communications. We learned their language, their culture, their psychology. We learned everything. The display showed research facilities, human scientists dissecting Scarleth bodies, studying their technology, testing their armor, finding weaknesses. They had weaknesses, Minho said. Everything does. Their armor was strong but had gaps at the joints. Their hive mind depended on specific frequency communications we could jam. Their metabolism required specific proteins they couldn't synthesize themselves. They needed to hunt to survive. And most importantly, Tejo added, they'd never fought a war of attrition. The Scarleth were pursuit predators. They hunted fast and hard. Long campaigns weren't in their nature. They expected prey to die quickly or escape. They didn't understand persistence. Hana smiled. And it was not a kind smile. We showed them persistence. The hologram shifted to Phase 2. Human fleets engaging Scarleth forces, but differently now. Human ships using hit-and-run tactics, striking supply lines, avoiding direct confrontation, making the Scarleth chase them across empty space. We didn't fight battles, Hana said. We fought a war of harassment. Whenever the Scarleth gathered their forces, we scattered. Whenever they split up to pursue, we attacked with local superiority. We never gave them the decisive battle they wanted. Junho appeared again, older now, more scarred. The Scarleth couldn't understand what we were doing. We were prey. Prey doesn't hunt back. Prey doesn't set traps. Prey doesn't learn and adapt. But humans aren't normal prey. The footage showed Scarleth confusion, their tactics becoming erratic, their forces overextending, human traps working again and again. Year 5, Junho said. We started winning small engagements. Year 7, we won our first major battle. Year 10, we retook our first colony. And we kept coming. Nari appeared in the hologram. She was a soldier, not an officer. Her armor was battered, her face hard. I enlisted at 18, Nari said. I fought for 35 years. Most Scarleth warriors lived maybe 20 years. We outlasted their entire generation. The Scarleth who invaded us died. Their children took over the war. Then their children died. And we were still coming. The hologram showed the changing nature of the war. Human soldiers no longer retreating in panic, but fighting with cold efficiency. Human weapons evolving to counter Scarleth advantages. Human tactics becoming more refined. We were learning faster than they could adapt, Nari said. Every battle taught us something. Every loss showed us their patterns. And humans never forget. Every Scarleth warrior had to learn from scratch. Every human inherited knowledge from those who came before. Tejo showed genetic data. By year 15, We started making changes to ourselves. We bred human soldiers with faster reflexes. We used genetic modifications to improve strength and endurance. We created psychological conditioning to remove fear responses. We were adapting ourselves to fight the Scarleth. The display showed modified human soldiers. They looked more aggressive, more dangerous, still human, but changed. The Scarleth had been perfect predators for 10,000 years, Tejo said. They hadn't needed to evolve. But humans evolved. During the war, we became what we needed to be. To kill them. Hana showed the later stages of the war. Human forces no longer retreating but advancing, pushing the Scarleth back, taking territory, destroying their supply bases. Year 20, Hana said. We started hunting them back to their core worlds. The Scarleth realized too late what was happening. They weren't the hunters anymore. They were the prey. The footage showed Scarleth forces in disarray. Their perfect coordination breaking down. Their hive-mind communications jammed by human technology. Their warriors facing human soldiers who no longer feared them. Year 30, Junho said. We reached their home worlds. We had a choice to make. The hologram went dark for a moment. When it returned, Junho looked older, tired, sad. We could have stopped, Junho said quietly. We could have forced a surrender, taken reparations, established boundaries. That's what civilized species do. But the Scarleth had shown us what they were. They'd enslaved our people, hunted us for sport, bred us like animals. They'd seen us as nothing but prey. His voice hardened. So, we showed them what happens when prey evolves to hunt the hunter. The hologram showed the final campaign. Human fleets surrounding Scarleth worlds. Not invading, not negotiating, just surrounding. We didn't accept their surrender, Hana said. They'd shown us they could never be trusted. They were predators who only understood dominance. So we made sure they'd never threaten anyone again. The display showed weapons firing. Not at ships, at planets. Biological weapons tailored specifically to Scarleth biology. Orbital bombardment, making their worlds uninhabitable. Systematic destruction of every Scarleth colony. Year 40, Tejo said. The last Scarleth died 15 years ago. The Galactic Council never knew because we contained all information. As far as the galaxy knows, the Scarleth simply disappeared. The hologram showed empty worlds, ruins of Scarleth cities, no survivors. We committed genocide, Tejo said simply. We hunted a species to complete extinction. Not for food. Not for territory. Because they'd tried to hunt us. Because they'd seen us as prey. We showed them what human prey does. The chamber was deathly silent. Every species present stared at the humans in horror. Varthex finally spoke, its voice trembling. You destroyed an entire species. You didn't just defeat them. You erased them from existence. Yes, Hana said. We did. And we'd do it again. The Scarleth were stronger than us, faster than us, better armed, natural predators who should have wiped us out. But they made one mistake. What mistake? Krell 9 asked, his voice barely audible. They saw us as prey, Hana answered. They didn't understand that humans are the species that domesticated wolves, that hunted mammoths into extinction, that turned every predator on our world into either servants or museum exhibits. They didn't understand that when something tries to eat us, we don't just fight back. We eliminate the threat completely. Tejo added. Every predator reaches an equilibrium with its environment. You hunt until your prey population balances with your needs. Humans never reached that equilibrium. We hunted the megafauna of Earth into extinction. We eliminated every species that competed with us. We are the only apex predator that doesn't stop at dominance. We pursue total supremacy. The hologram showed Earth's history. Human expansion across their planet. Species disappearing wherever humans went. Not from habitat loss, from active elimination. We didn't mean to, Tejo said quietly. We didn't wake up and decide to commit genocide. But when something threatens human survival, we respond with everything we have, and we don't stop until the threat is gone. The Scarlith threatened our survival, so we removed them. Varthek stood, its crystalline form shaking. The summit recognizes humanity as the galaxy's greatest predator. I relinquish the title. We all do. But Tejo shook his head. We're not here for a title. We're not here to be feared. We're here to make sure you understand what humanity is, now that we're in the galaxy. He looked around the chamber at each species. We're persistence predators. We're tool users. We're adaptation specialists. And we fight every battle like our species depends on it. Because for most of our history, it did. We don't want to be your enemy. We don't want to hunt you. But you need to understand what we are, Hana finished. We're not the strongest. We're not the fastest. We're not the most naturally armed. But we are the species that turns the tables on everything that tries to eat us. Every species in this room evolved to hunt efficiently. Humans evolved to hunt successfully, no matter the cost. The difference is everything. The Summit Master spoke for the first time in hours. What do you want from us? 1. Tejo smiled sadly. Understanding. Friendship, if possible. We're not monsters. Most humans are peaceful, creative, compassionate. We build art and music and philosophy. We fell in love with wolves and made them pets. We're not defined by our capacity for violence. But that capacity exists, Hana said. And it's vast. The Scarlith learned that lesson. We hope the rest of the galaxy doesn't need to. Varthex approached Tejo slowly. Are all humans like you, capable of such calculated brutality? No, Tejo said honestly. Most humans would be horrified by what we did to the Scarlith. Most humans want peace. But when we're threatened, when we're hunted, when we're seen as prey, then yes, all humans are capable of this. Because it's how we survived. It's what we are. Varthex was quiet for a long moment. Then what are humans? Truly, we're the species that only shows its teeth when something tries to bite us first. Tejo said. We're the species that never gives up. Never stops learning. Never forgets. We're the galaxy's most dangerous predator, not because we're strong, but because we're persistent, patient. And we never make the same mistake twice. He and Hana walked toward the exit. The assembled species parted before them, not in respect, but in fear. At the door, Tejo turned back. The Scarlith saw us as prey, he said. Don't make that mistake. But also don't see us as monsters. We're just humans. We hunt when we must. We protect what's ours. And we never, ever give up. Remember that. And we'll never have a problem. They left the chamber. Behind them, the greatest predators in the galaxy sat in silence, contemplating what they'd learned. Humanity was in the stars now. And the galaxy would never be the same. In space, the human ship prepared to depart. Inside, Hana looked at Tejo. Do you think they'll leave us alone now? I think they'll do something smarter, Tejo replied. They'll try to be our friends, because they've seen what happens to our enemies. As the ship jumped to hyperspace, Earth appeared on the view screen. A small blue world that had produced the galaxy's most terrifying predator, not through claws or venom, but through the simple, horrible ability to never give up, to never stop coming, to never forget. Humanity had entered the galactic stage. And the galaxy had learned a valuable lesson. Don't hunt the humans. Because the humans will hunt back. And when humans hunt, they hunt to extinction.